In the small town of Columbia, Mississippi, on July 25, 1953, a legend was born. Walter Jerry Payton entered the world with no fanfare, no headlines, just another child in a family of 3 siblings. His father, a factory worker with semi-professional baseball experience, planted the seeds of athleticism that would one day flourish beyond anyone's imagination. Young Walter spent his childhood like many boys, active in Boy Scouts, church, and Little League. Statistics show that less than 0.08% of all young athletes ever make it to professional sports. Yet from these humble beginnings would rise one of football's immortals. Surprisingly, Walter didn't immediately gravitate toward football. At John J. Jefferson High School, he was a drummer in the marching band, a choir member, and a track athlete. His brother Eddie played football, and Walter initially avoided the gridiron to prevent competing with his sibling. It wasn't until his junior year that he tried football, making an immediate impact by running 65 yards for a touchdown on his very first carry. Though standing just 5 feet 10 inches and not particularly large, his exceptional speed and strength made him a standout. During his high school career, he averaged over 7 yards per carry and scored in every single game of his junior and senior seasons. Approximately 38 touchdowns in 20 games, a rate that would foreshadow his professional dominance. The road to greatness wasn't without obstacles. Despite establishing himself as one of Mississippi's premier running back prospects, Payton received no invitations from Southeastern Conference colleges, a common experience for talented black athletes in the early 1970s South. Instead, he attended historically Black Jackson State University, where his extraordinary talents truly blossomed. Over his college career, Payton amassed 3,600 rushing yards at a remarkable 6.1 yards per carry, scoring 65 rushing touchdowns. His 24 rushing touchdowns in 1973 set a school record. On September 23, 1972, in a single game against Lane College, Payton scored an astounding 46 points with 7 touchdowns and 2 two-point conversions while rushing for 279 yards. Averaging nearly 900 yards per season, he twice earned the title of Black College Player of the Year, cementing his reputation as Sweetness, a nickname whose origin remains as legendary as the man himself. The Chicago Bears selected Payton 4th overall in the 1975 NFL Draft, a franchise desperate for a spark after struggling since Gale Sayers' retirement in 1972. Payton's NFL journey began inauspiciously. His first game yielded 0 net rushing yards on 8 attempts. But greatness couldn't be contained for long. By season's end, he had accumulated 679 yards and 7 touchdowns. While modest by his later standards, that rookie performance placed him among the top 20 rushers in the league, with his 3.5 yards per carry, suggesting the power and potential yet to be unleashed. 1976 marked Payton's breakthrough. He rushed for 1,390 yards and 13 touchdowns, averaging 4.5 yards per carry, with a spectacular 60-yard run, highlighting his explosive ability. Selected to his first Pro Bowl, he was named the game's MVP, a harbinger of the dominance to come. The following year, 1977, Payton unleashed one of the greatest individual seasons in NFL history. He rushed for a monstrous 1,852 yards and 14 touchdowns, becoming the league's leading non-kicker scorer with 106 points. Against the Minnesota Vikings on November 20th, despite battling a 101-degree fever and intense flu symptoms, he shattered O.J. Simpson's single-game rushing record with 275 yards. Across the league that season, the average running back managed just 586 yards. Payton tripled that production while outgaining 18 entire NFL teams' rushing attacks. The next 5 seasons saw Payton establish himself as the game's premier running back, averaging 1,415 yards per season between 1978 and 1982. His consistency was supernatural. 10 seasons with over 1,200 rushing yards despite 2 lockout-shortened campaigns. While most running backs begin declining after 4 professional seasons, Payton defied football mortality, rushing for 1,421 yards in 1983, his 9th season. Facing 8 and sometimes 9-man fronts designed specifically to stop him, Payton still produced, carrying the ball over 300 times in 7 different seasons. absorbing punishment that would have ended most careers. October 7, 1984, marked immortality. Against the New Orleans Saints, Payton broke Jim Brown's career rushing record of 12,312 yards, a milestone many considered untouchable. His pursuit of greatness never wavered. In 1984, at age 31, when most running backs have long retired, Payton accumulated 1,684 rushing yards. The following season, 1985, brought team success to match his individual brilliance. The Bears, featuring one of history's greatest defenses, dominated the NFL with a 15-1 record. While Payton contributed 1,551 yards and 9 touchdowns during the regular season, playoff opponents focused their entire defensive schemes on containing him. Though he never reached the end zone in that postseason, his presence allowed teammates to shine as Chicago captured Super Bowl 20, defeating New England 46-10. By drawing double and triple teams on approximately 80% of offensive snaps, Payton created opportunities for others while sacrificing personal glory. As his playing days wound down, Payton maintained excellence few could match even in their prime. In 1986, his 12th season, he amassed 1,333 yards at age 33. His final season, 1987, saw reduced carries as he shared the backfield with successor Neil Anderson, but Payton still contributed 533 yards in a strike-shortened campaign. When he hung up his cleats, the numbers were staggering. 16,726 rushing yards, 110 rushing touchdowns, 492 receptions for 4,538 receiving yards and 15 receiving touchdowns. His all-purpose yardage totaled 21,803, approximately 12.4 miles of football real estate gained across 13 seasons. Perhaps most remarkably, he started 170 consecutive games, a record for running backs that speaks to his legendary toughness and durability in a position where the average career spans just 2.57 seasons. Payton's playing style became the stuff of legend. His motto, "Never die easy," meant he refused to run out of bounds, instead delivering punishment to tacklers before going down. His signature stutter step maneuver confounded defenders, creating hesitation he exploited mercilessly. While most running backs of his era absorbed 10 to 15 significant hits per game, Payton initiated contact himself, redefining what physical running meant. He played through injuries that would sideline others, once gaining over 100 yards with a 101-degree fever, and another time playing through cracked ribs without telling coaches or trainers. His physical conditioning was mythical. He practiced hill runs so intense they would later rename the training site Payton's Hill in his honor. Life after football brought new challenges and triumphs. Payton pursued various business ventures, including co-ownership of Dalecoin Racing in the kart IndyCar World Series. As a driver in the Trans Am Series, he once escaped a serious injury when his car overturned and caught fire, facing danger with the same fearlessness he showed on the gridiron. In 1993, he co-founded Walter Payton Power Equipment, a successful Midwest crane and heavy equipment distributor. 2 years later, he purchased and renovated a historic roundhouse in Aurora, Illinois, creating Walter Payton's Roundhouse, a restaurant, brewery, and museum that would later receive recognition from the National Trust for Historic Preservation. His business investments generated estimated annual revenues exceeding $50 million, while employing hundreds across multiple ventures. In February 1999, devastating news struck. Payton announced he had primary sclerosing cholangitis, a rare liver disease. Despite facing mortality, he transformed his final months into a mission, becoming a passionate advocate for organ donation. His public appeals are credited with dramatically increasing donor awareness nationally. In Illinois alone, organ donation inquiries increased by an estimated 500% following his advocacy. On November 1, 1999, Walter Payton passed away from bile duct cancer at just 46 years old. During the week following his death, the NFL held special ceremonies at every game commemorating his career. Over 1,000 mourners attended his funeral services, including NFL Commissioner Paul Tagliabue, teammates, coaches, government officials, and thousands of fans whose lives he had touched. Walter Payton's legacy extends far beyond football. The Walter Payton Man of the Year Award honors NFL players for excellence in community service. The NCAA Walter Payton Award recognizes the most outstanding offensive player in Division I FCS football. His foundation continues providing toys to underprivileged children across Chicago each Christmas, distributing an estimated 20,000 gifts annually. The Walter Payton Cancer Fund, established in 2002, has raised millions for research. Perhaps most significantly, his advocacy for organ donation created a lasting impact. In the first year after his appeals, approximately 13,000 people in Chicago alone registered as donors, potentially saving tens of thousands of lives. From humble beginnings in Mississippi to football immortality, Walter Payton embodied excellence, determination, and compassion. His career statistics, 16,726 rushing yards, 110 touchdowns, 492 receptions, tell only part of the story. The true measure of sweetness lies in how he played the game, with unmatched intensity, extraordinary toughness, and remarkable grace. In his 46 years, he amassed achievements most couldn't accomplish in multiple lifetimes. He was a pioneering black athlete, a transformative football player, a successful businessman, and ultimately, a humanitarian whose final act was trying to save others through organ donation awareness. Walter Payton wasn't just one of football's greatest players. He was and remains its most complete champion, a man whose legacy continues to inspire more than 2 decades after his passing. Sweetness forever.